Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. I am your host, Jasmine Neely, and today we have a special guest for you on the pod today. Her name is Ohavia Phillips, and you may have seen her if you've gone to a Hornets game or really any other event in Charlotte. She's everywhere, and she is the MC of almost all events. And let me just tell you something. Ohavia is such a energetic force. When if you've ever met Ohavia, you know that she is just somebody that is so positive and you just want to root for her because she's just such an amazing light. And when you talk to her, you feel so energized, you feel inspired, you feel motivated. So this episode actually, and I probably said this about other episodes, but this episode has been one of my favorite so far. It's been one of my favorite interviews. And I just think because she radiates, even though this was a virtual interview, she radiates through the camera. And I'm just so excited for you all to hear about her journey, her wisdom, and get any tips that she has based off of her own experiences. So I'm going to put her full bio in the show notes, but I want you to know that she is an electrifying MC and in arena host for the Charlotte Hornets. She's an award-winning entrepreneur, and Ohavia, like I said, she lights up stages, she lights up arenas, and she lights up events with her unmatched energy and impact. She's emceed marquee events like the Jumpman Invitational, UNCF's Maya Angelou's Women Who Lead Luncheon, and the Ally Tipoff, to hosting the Queen City Awards and Black Girls in Media celebrations. She's been invited to presidential campaign rallies, partnered with esteemed organizations like the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. She consistently commands the mic and is one of the most influential and inspiring MCs of ever. Okay, so make sure that you tune in, and I'm going to stop talking because I want you to get all the goodness that's in this interview. And without further ado, here is Ohavia Phillips. Enjoy. Ohavia, hello.
Yes, Jasmine. Hello, beautiful. I am so excited about this.
You don't know how excited I am too. I am like, this is what I've been looking forward to all week. Let me just tell you that. This is the highlight of my day, and I'm just so excited to have you on the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. It is my honor, my girl. And thank you for all of the incredible, opulent, positive content you put out. It was already a yes. And who's to think like seeing each other, meeting each other first time on the plane. Now we're on this podcast. God is so good. He just like us. He love us.
He loves us. That was like a
He
year
loves
ago that
us.
we met. We were going to Houston to the rodeo, right?
Yep, we
Well,
were
you were
going to
doing
the
an event.
rodeo. Yep. And shout out to Red Bull. I had the opportunity to do like a Red Bull rodeo and all the cool dance things there. So, and here we are.
Yes, I love that. And we are going to get all into your dance background, which you told me that you have some of a dance background. As you know,
Hey.
this podcast is for those who want to go out and audition for a dance team or a pro cheer team and having the confidence and gaining the skills and ability to do that. But we're also just going to talk about you, and I want to learn more about who you are. And we're going to start. The first question is just going to be, who is Ohavia Phillips? We know you as a Charlotte icon, a media professional who's likely to be on a mic at, somebody's event. And we just want to know, who is Ohavia Phillips?
First of all, make my day, why don't you? I can't cry these lashes off because they don't belong to me. But yes, my sis, my name is Ohavia Phillips, soon to be Ohavia Reed. So I think what I'm so excited about is saying that I'm going to be a wife. I'm so excited to be somebody's sister. I'm the oldest of five. I am the daughter to an incredible mom who did her biggest one in my life, and so grateful. But even aside from being a sister, a wife, a best friend, all the things that I love, I get to do all things sports, entertainment, television, media every single day, Jasmine, and I love it. And speaking of sports, I get to be on the hardwood with the Charlotte Hornets as an in-arena host. And when I'm not on the hardwood there or doing anything in pertinence to the team, what I love is I have my own business where I get to travel and MC incredible events. And so, when I'm not in the arena, I'm like, the world is my arena, truly. So I never work a day in my life. God is blessing me in tremendous ways. Talk about exceedingly and abundantly. I never saw myself working in sports. I just wanted to be a little talk show host. And now here we are. So I'm very happy and I love it. Love it, love
Oh,
it.
I love that. I could see definitely a talk show host, like sitting on a couch, you interviewing a lot of these people, professionals and
Yes.
entertainers. I could definitely see that in your future. If you already don't have that, do you already?
You
Okay.
know what's funny?
Want to make sure.
Started it. It's been a 4-year break. So no, it's time. It's
It's
time.
time. That's next. I think it's
Yes.
time. You would
Yes.
be
I'm
perfect for that.
excited.
You are so confident and so lively whenever you are hosting an event, whether you're at a Hornets game or another event. I want to know how do you hype yourself up? And is it natural for you? Even like just from my first interaction with you on a plane going to Houston last year, you are just so abundantly, um, you have this kind of like it's energy that's just contagious. So how do you hype yourself up?
Yes. And I love this question, Jasmine. You know what's funny? This is an exclusive because nobody's ever asked me. I guess it's just always was assumed like, she wakes up like this. Fun fact is, I do naturally have a little Miss Sunshine, confetti mind disposition. So naturally, I'm the type of girl where the glass is always half full. I'm the type of girl where we're going to make this work. I'm the type of girl where, look, it's not a challenge. It's honestly an opportunity. And, I'm very grateful because this natural disposition that I have has opened incredible doors for me working in TV with incredible brands like BET, Red Bull, Lexus, again, and it just naturally flowed into my natural disposition. But I love the part of the question you asked about how do you, get yourself, excited and ready. I am in the energy of 17,000 people on a daily basis, if you count a home game. And especially working in media, we're before people every single day. And the truth is, I'm always nervous. So
Mm.
don't tell nobody. Do you get nervous?
I won't tell nobody. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Who
Okay.
doesn't?
Okay, look, I was like, I'm always nervous. And it's funny because people are like, well, this is what you do. But what's funny is I feel like the nervousness is actually just the thing that I need to keep me humble and always balanced and
Mhm.
seeking something higher, meaning like it draws me closer to God. So I'm big on praying, devotion, meditation in my mornings. And then immediately after, I'm big on a workout. And then immediately after, I'm big on playing my favorite playlist and let's get to work, So I
Mhm.
have a routine to maintain this positivity that I do not deviate from because I kid you not, if I miss prayer, devotion, bad mood. If I miss a
Mhm.
workout, bad mood. I try
Mhm.
my best to have outs or ways that I can, exercise
Mhm.
all this energy. So I try my best to keep the routine because it keeps me together. Real talk.
Yes.
So yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wonder what's on Ohavia's playlist. What do you have? You have gospel, you got just a little mix of everything. Give us a little something. What you got?
Jasmine, okay. Jasmine, do you listen to like Christian rap? Is that a
I don't normally, but I like some Christian rap. Yes.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like, I'm moving into it a whole lot more. I
Mm.
discovered an artist, Hove.
Okay,
I'm
I'm gonna
sorry if
write
I'm
that
saying your
down.
name. It's spelled Hulvey. He's fantastic. And let me tell you, he has been having me down the rabbit hole of Christian rap. But also, when I'm not listening to Christian rap, babe, I listen to regular rap. Okay.
Mm.
Give me everything. Give me rap, give me hip hop, there's actually nothing I don't listen to. Across all the gamut. I listen to a little bit of country, listen to a little bit of bachata, merengue music. I'm literally one of those people who, if it sounds good, I'm gonna work out to it and dance to it. So nothing
Mhm.
off the table, just nothing
Yeah.
dark, but nothing off the table.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you have such a wide variety of what you listen to. That's so
Yeah.
important. And something that, I feel like you can get your energy from that. Other people can get their energy from like your whatever you're putting out there. So I'm gonna definitely look up Juve, the Christian hip
Yeah.
hop artist. Yes.
Yes, he's fire. He's fire. He's fire. And like it just helps with the mood too, right? Like,
Mm.
I feel like per day, and tell me if you see this too, Jasmine. Like it just depends on the mood. Like some days it's given we waking up to trap. Some
Hmm.
days it's like, well, let me start with some neo soul. So
You
you
gotta have a little ratchetness and righteousness. There you go. You gotta have a little bit of both. There you go.
make my day.
Hey. I
Yeah,
love
bring it back.
that. You gotta have balance, right?
Duality, right? Balance. That's the key.
Yes.
I'm with you.
I love that. Okay, so
Yes.
now that's how you get yourself hyped up in the morning. You have your routine, you have your workout, you have your playlist, you have your devotion. How do you kind of like wind down in the same type of way, or do you have a different type of like when you need to just be by yourself? First of all, are you an introvert or extrovert?
So I'm an extrovert, but when I'm
Okay.
done, oh, I'm done.
So what do you do like to wind down when you're done with everything that the day has in store for you?
Yes. Jasmine, have you ever done this? I sit in the quiet. I kid you not.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes after games, and
Mhm.
because we're in the same energy all the time, and we have experience doing it. When
Mhm.
you're in the energy of over 17,000 people, thousands, again, in one game sitting, you come home and it's like, whew, and it's music and it's lights and it's all the things, and I love it. But let me tell you, Jasmine, when I come home and I sit in this wonderful living room where I pay, wonderful man, okay, with this
Yes.
wonderful space that I love with my wonderful fiance. When I tell you, I love sitting back, being quiet, and turning on something that's just fun, like an action or a comedy. But
Mhm.
I gotta wind it all the way down because I've got to go all the way
Yeah.
back up. So yeah.
Oh yeah, especially with the work that you do. You are in, like you said, you're in front of all those people. You have to perform, you have to put on that energy. People are expecting the same you every time they come to
every
a
time,
game.
every
So
time.
that's so important to like take the time to chill.
Yes,
I'm glad to hear that you do that. So you said,
necessary. Yeah.
yes, you said that you do get nervous on a mic. So
Mhm.
wait, so how do you, if you're really nervous, which I never
Mhm.
can guess that you're nervous because you're just such a pro and you're such a, you're great at what you do. How do you ease your nerves? Like in the moment,
Yes.
right when you're about to go on, how do you ease those nerves?
I love this question. Nobody's ever asked. I'm excited. This is an exclusive. So, how do I ease those nerves, even aside from prayer, right? Because that goes without saying for me. I have to always say a prayer, God, come into this incredible opportunity. Thank you that this
Mm,
gets to be my office. After I give all my gratitude and thanks, I go over my material like it's nobody's business, Jasmine. I mean, I'm flipping those
mm,
cards, I'm going through it, I'm reciting it, I'm like maybe rapping it or singing it to remember something, and as best as I could, balancing that mental jog, right, between making sure that I have all of this material memorized by the time we go live, and let me also scroll a little bit, find something funny to watch where I can like, make sure I clear
yeah.
the static in my brain. But that really helps the nervousness is preparation. So I'll read over
Mm,
something. Woo, I never counted, but I will say it's a ton because our intern actually pointed it out. Like, Miss Ohavia, you go over your material a lot, like in a row.
yeah.
And I was like, it helps me with my nervousness because at minimum, say I forget something off memory, I still know the material because I read it. So it'll just come to mind
Mhm.
when it's supposed to. But yeah, it's so funny because the name of the game is just really committing to knowing your stuff. Just
Your
know it.
preparation. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
think that's such
Right.
an important point to note because that's the base of it. A lot of
Yes.
people, I mean, some people may say don't overstress don't stress yourself out by like looking at
No.
every little thing. But I think the preparation is what's going to help you with the nervousness. Because like you said,
Yes.
you've read it. You know in the back of your head that you know something is going to come out, even if you feel like nothing's going to come out. You know what I mean? So I like
Yes.
that you're putting that baseline of just preparation. You can't get past anywhere if you don't have that preparation.
And that's one of the many things I love, even Jasmine, about you, and also how well you thrive in this brand, in this podcast, and also with our background in dance. It's like you about to go out there, do your big one. Jasmine, how important is it to stretch?
Oh, important. You're gonna hurt yourself if you don't.
So literally, it's like all of those elements from dance life, it just takes on a
Mhm.
new energy, but it's the same. It's like that's the mental warm up. And I'm like, that preparation will literally separate you from, okay, she's great to like, no, extraordinary. So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
that warm up is crazy.
In anything you have to practice.
Yes.
Even the
Yes.
greats had to practice, no matter what it is, whether it's singing, whether it's, Beyonce or Michael Jordan or Kobe, like
Yes.
everybody had to go
It's
through
true.
that practice phase. So you're inspiring so many people, and you've inspired me just from meeting you in person and seeing you from afar as well. But I'm also curious how you are when you are at a low point. You have shared a lot on your social media. You're so open and vulnerable, which I appreciate. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate and can relate to you. But when you feel like giving up and you need inspiration and you're at a low point, who or what is it that helps you get through that?
Oh, I love this question, my girl, because just in the same vein as again, Little Miss Sunshine, confetti, like just brained and all the things, when there are things that feel very difficult or challenging, I'm not gonna lie, I really have to make sure that I keep myself up in a positive mode because in the same way I'm like super happy. I
Mhm.
feel like it's the same way when you're not. I just go straight down this like spiral. Now I've come a long way. I'll be honest with you. Like I'm much better now because I've also gave myself permission to take off that cape, right? Remove that spotlight and feel because at the end of the day, look, we aren't what we do, right? We aren't
Right.
what we wear. We're not what we drive. We aren't where we live. These are just all the things that are outside that help create our experiences. But at the end of the day, look, you will always be the fabulous Jasmine no matter what. I'll always be the fabulous Ohavia. Who's ever listening, you'll always be the incredible you without that thing. So when
Mhm.
I get really low, I'm not going to lie, Jasmine, I just stop it all. So not going to
Mhm.
post because I want to make sure Ohavia is good. And also, too, if you put yourself in a situation of creating content or posting when you're not feeling your best, you want to minimize anything that would cause static with your self identity, right? And so I
Mhm.
always want to make sure I'm not using social media to run away from a lot of emotions I feel or may feel when there's a challenging season. And so I'll get off the internet. And I'll get in my communities. So, like, I'll call my
Mhm.
homegirls, call my mama. I have an incredible baby sister. I love her so much. You know, I'll call my family, spend time with fiance, but really pull back. And I feel like the biggest thing that we could do for ourselves, even now with everything going on in the world, is give yourself permission to just stop, surrender,
Mhm.
right? Because sometimes it's a sign for us to put our back against the wall, reset so we can be healthy. If you're always
Mhm.
pushing it, you never have that time. So I'm gonna be honest, Jasmine, I fade to black and then I just come back. Like, I
I
see
love
y'all when I
that.
see y'all.
Yes, you have to. Yeah, I love that. It's like really
Mhm.
sitting in what it is that you're feeling, not like trying to run away from it in other ways. That's kind of what I'm hearing you
Mhm.
say. I think
Yes.
that's super important.
Yes, absolutely. That's totally what I'm saying. You said it so eloquently, but that's really what it is. And also, again, you know, for us who perform before people, always creating
Mhm.
content, producing things, you have to have an out. And sometimes the out is not another thing, right?
Mhm.
It's just let me back up for a bit, give this some time, make sure I'm good, and we'll get back to it. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's permission to pause. I love that.
Oh, yes.
Hashtag.
Okay, y'all are listening and watching this. You heard this here. You didn't hear this nowhere else. You heard permission to
Exclusive,
pause
everyone. Exclusive.
here.
Oh gosh, I
You
love
heard
that.
it here.
We're gonna get
Yeah.
shirts made and everything. There we go.
No, Jasmine, I love that so much. Permission to
Yes.
pause.
Yes. Let me write that down. Write it
Yeah, I
down.
was about to say, write that. That's bold.
This might go somewhere. We'll just wait and see.
Just send me the link so I can support because you're excellent at it.
I got you. So, like we mentioned before, we met on a flight to Houston about a year ago, and you briefly told me about your previous dance background, and
Yeah.
maybe you are still dancing. But I think you grew. I know you grew up in New York in Brooklyn. Do people know about your dance background and what it entails? And if not, can you just kind of explain what that entailed?
Absolutely. So literally, y'all, I met Jasmine on a plane and it was just like it brought back all of that life back for me, right? Because seeing her and how much she loved it and was talking about it and how much I loved it and was talking about it, y'all, I wish you could have been a fly on the wall on our flight. It was the best convo. But for those who don't know, I danced for many, 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 many years. So from when I was in the Tarleton Dance Studio when we first moved here to Charlotte, not to mention was always in dance. I actually thought dance was going to be my major. Got all the way to UNC Charlotte, even auditioned to be a gold duster. So I just want to put this in perspective. Like this was my whole life. So I get to UNC Charlotte and I was like, you know what? I think I want to dance. And I was like, wait, you know what? I think I want to do TV. Wait, how could I do both? And just true, you know, leaving the nest and going off to college and figuring out yourself, discovering all the things. I said, I love dance, I'll always do it, but I think I want to pursue media. But extensive dance background, I mean, from liturgical, ballet, hip hop, jazz, have done it all, have done it with the best, even traveled and done it some. It's just I got to college and I was like, If I can't mesh the two, I'll pick media. But I still
Yeah.
do it. And I also intertwine it in my content here and there. And Jasmine, it's always so funny because people are like, okay. And I'm like, guys, I feel like I said this was, sometimes
Like
the
I does
content
this, okay?
the content gets a little buried. But yes, when I tell you dance is a huge part of my life, and I feel like it actually has a lot to do with the confidence, even in my art and media, because we learn
Mhm.
just different postures, we learn different ways to present, even when you're not moving, and all those things kind of come back working in
Yeah.
media. So I love it. Shout out to all the dancers. This is the best side. All the sides are the best.
Yes.
It's the best side. It's
Shout
fantastic.
out to all the dancers. No, I
Yeah.
love that you said that it gave you your confidence, and that actually leads me to my next question because I want to know, have you always been this confident? Like when you were a kid and you started dance, like were you that confident? Like the Ohavia that we
Absolutely.
see today, has that always been, have you always had that confidence?
Absolutely. So was heavy involved in dance. I want to say as early as the age 8. It started for me in church, but then my mom really started making investments. So I'm talking, I was a part of like Padgett Dance Troupe in Canarsie in Brooklyn. I mean, my mom really was an incredible mom, always invested in me doing dances and art. And I'm gonna be honest, I always was this confident. And being fully transparent, I have to attribute the confidence to dance because again, you're dancing with different people of different styles from different experiences. And
Mm,
for those who have never been in a studio, literally you are learning bits and pieces from everyone. And it's like, you're consistently in an environment that's a blank canvas and you're
mm,
getting better, your muscles are getting stronger. And so, as you matriculate, especially when you start at 8, that confidence never really leaves you. You're always in
yeah,
competitions, which also boosts confidence, right? You're
yeah,
also always in different troops. I always was a part of different groups. And so it's hard to not be confident when you really have no choice, especially in the world of dance, because you always got to learn. You always got to
yeah.
learn from the best. You're always putting yourself in those competitions and in that era. So I'm very glad. But because of dance, always, I knew like confidence would have never been my problem.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I feel like I've been dancing since I was 3 years old, and like one of the best things that it's taught me is confidence. And a lot of my dance friends can say the same thing, is how
Yeah.
they are able to be confident in their careers. And just like you said, they can be confident. So you said that something was interesting that you said is that you're stepping onto a blank canvas when you're in a class.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that until you just said it. Because when you step into a class, there is no paperwork, there's
Nope.
no whiteboard. I
No.
mean, typically, there's no whiteboard. It tells you what the moves are. You
Right.
are literally in a class, and all you have is your body, your brain, your eyes, and whoever's instructing you.
That's
And
right.
to be able to first just step into the class that's brave.
Ooh,
That's the first
there
step.
it is. There it is.
And a lot
Yes.
of people are afraid to do that, but I think it's because it's such a blank canvas. That's where the first step, stepping into that class and just going for it, that's how
Yeah.
you gain the confidence. You gain the confidence by doing those things because
Ooh,
it's not like kind of like your job where you have your notes. You can have those
yeah.
notes, but if it's not on video, if it's not right in front of you, you got to learn by your memory. You got to be confident in it.
Okay.
So
And
I love that.
I love it too. And let me tell you, when I tell you, it reminds me of the plane conversation we had where you were just taking me back to the studio. I remember like always even wanting to try different styles. So I would sign up for different like style classes. It was every like Tuesday and Wednesday when I did it with Miss Poke. Shout out to Miss Poke, her and her dance studio. But when I tell you, yeah, it's nerve-wracking because it's like, you're learning new dancers and you may not
Mhm.
know the dancers when you cross the door. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
here we go. But I think all of these things, again, it builds character, it builds that confidence
Mhm.
because you're going in the class. You want to learn this thing. You're going to turn around, No. So
Exactly.
you just learn how to ebb and flow. I feel like your authenticity becomes more forged because it's
Mhm.
like, I want to learn this dance. I want to be a part of this troupe. I'm going to enter myself in this competition. We're not turning around. And in some
Yeah,
cases, you really can't. So it's like,
exactly. You already paid the
you
fee.
already paid.
You're already there. The door is closed. Ain't no
The
turning
door
back
has,
now. Everybody's there. I think the thing to think about, like when people are looking at this and listening to this, everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody likely has the same thoughts that are going through your head. Like you are not the only one. It's scary. It's scary to be
yes,
in a dance class with strangers. It's
it
scary to have
is.
people look at you dance and you being
Mm.
vulnerable with your body. It's so scary. And I think a lot of people don't mention that a lot of the people that are in that classes are going through the same type of
Right
emotions.
now. And Jasmine, I'm so glad you brought that up, my love. You remember the eras or the times, especially during auditions where you're doing floor work, right? And as part of the
Mhm.
audition, like I remember doing gold dusters and you're having to do that floor work. So it's like 7 steps across, diagonal, backwards, you're doing it all. And they line up in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you
Yeah.
remember the lining up? And you're like, I'm gonna give it the best I got, but why
Right.
y'all line up like that?
Exactly. Like, why do I gotta be right in front of the
Why
mirror?
Jasmine?
I can see
Oh,
every little thing.
every little thing. And it's like, I mean, I'm gonna do it, but like
Yeah.
y'all gotta stand right there. You don't want to
Yes.
I oh,
Straight
mm.
on.
Right. And then you're killing it, right? And you're doing it, and you're like, oh, and then you catch somebody smiling and you still can't like show emotion. You just try to, you gotta
Yeah.
hit it, gotta finish it out.
Definitely been there for sure.
It took
Just
me
gotta
that, girl.
woosah.
Yes. It took me that. But yeah, these are all things that build character. And it's like, even when I think about whether you're in media or your industry, and if you have a background in dance, shout out to all the dancers you all know, it follows you because it's the same when you're about to make a presentation. It's the
Yeah.
same when you're about to pitch an idea to a brand. It all comes back. So dance has everything to do with just that foundation of, well, I'm here now. So
Yeah, for sure.
let's
Might as
get it.
well.
Might
The
as well.
preparation. It's all in preparation.
Yes, all preparation. Yes.
So I want to turn a little bit back to your career in hosting. What is the key to being a good host and keeping a crowd engaged? Because you make it look so easy.
Oh, thank you, Jasmine. You're
You're
making my
welcome.
day. I feel like anybody, here's the truth. Anybody can be an MC. It's not the most difficult thing ever. And also, it's so much fun. I think the secret sauce is really listening. And I
Mm,
feel like this is one of those soft skills we've been taught from pre-K, kindergarten, daycare. But, because we become adults and we get busy, we forget this small thing. And it's active listening, right? So, whether you're in an environment, it's listening to the environment. There are some environments that will call for you to say a thing, and there's some where, let's pull back and respect what's happening. And even when it's not an environment thing, it's a people thing, knowing when to shift in an interview, knowing when to shift in a conversation. But above all, again, listening so you can know how to transmute information out. Working for the Hornets and in sports have taught me that. And shout out to my like unofficial mentors. They're honestly a big brother and sister to me, Fly Ty and Jacinda,
yeah.
who are the OGs for the Charlotte Hornets. They're the best of the best in media here in Charlotte and beyond. And they taught me so much that first season because what you do for an award show is not what you do in sports, right? What you do for
Mm,
content is not what you do in sports, two different arenas. And I think that they're the ones who taught me the best MCs actually listen first and they
mm,
find ways to collaborate and align. So yes, you have a great personality, but how well do you collaborate? Yes, you
mm.
got great energy, but can you come to the level as this client or this opportunity to tell a unique and cohesive story? So you got to be able to listen.
Yeah.
That's
You're
the
coming
secret.
into contact with so many different types of people.
Yes.
And I feel like
Yes.
that's a skill in itself. Is just like you said, it's co like coming down to, not coming down to their level, but like understanding where they're
Yes.
coming from and meeting them
Yes.
there, you know?
Yes, so true, Jasmine. And
Yeah.
also realizing, like, yeah, you're fantastic at what you do as MCs, hosts, and all the things. But again, that secret sauce is how well can you collaborate with? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because you're going to
Hmm.
shine in collaboration. It's not
Yeah.
meant for you to do alone. You actually become Emmy Award winning when it's a what? Winning team. So
Yeah.
when I think about dance competitions, you are winning the trophy, but it's because it's what? 30, 40 of us, 20 of us. So,
Exactly.
it's how well can you not only play with others, but thrive and learn from them. And let's get the
Right.
collective win. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and in that collaboration, it comes off on whoever's watching. Like they can sense that. People that
yes.
are listening or looking at it, they can sense how well you're able to collaborate with that person. So I think that's important. That's what gives you the Emmys and the awards, and I'm sure that's what's giving you all of your great awards and accolades too. So I learned a little thing in hosting today.
Yes.
Yes.
And girl, you could text me, call me whenever. We could talk this extensively because I
Yeah.
love it. And I actually wish more people got into it because it's
Mm.
it's really an incredible industry. And what I love is it gives you so many options. Like you can go television news with it. You can go, I mean, don't get me started. I love this world so much. It's just so many opportunities. So
Yeah,
y'all should try it. Everybody should
I
try
love that.
it.
There's always events. There's always somebody needing an
You
MC.
know?
a personality. So,
Yes,
especially since, we got through COVID, everybody's trying to connect
girl.
in person. By the way, how was that for you in your career? I know it changed a lot of our lives and kind of like switched up things for us, but in terms of like events and
Yes,
hosting, how was that was that a challenge for you and during that time? How did it change your
sir.
career?
When I tell you, Jasmine, girl, I wouldn't go back. I would not go back. That was such a scary time for me because, my bread and butter, what I do is being outside and emceeing events. But then something really cool happened and God put a pivot in me and we was just hitting them corners. So long story short, what happened was a lot of events had to go virtual. And because I was already an MC in real life and off the internet, actually it was easy for folks to find me because I was known as the girl around Charlotte. Every time you saw her at an event. So now when businesses and organizations had to pivot to online, well, Ohavia, could you? Absolutely. And actually, one of
Mhm.
the things that I love about the pandemic was I used to literally line up the incredible opportunities one behind the other, if time allowed, and change my outfits. It was fun for me. Like, this is not work. And so
Yeah.
it started off rough. I'm not going to lie. I did a lot of crying. I did a lot of questioning. And I was like, now, God, I believe in this little dream. What is this? What's happening? And he
Mm.
come through as he always did. And we pivoted quickly, but we pivoted.
Mhm.
And yeah, so things started picking up again, which I'm grateful for. Yes.
Yeah. I love that. That was such a interesting time, and I hope we never have to go through it again, but we're all here
So
now.
Jasmine.
Made it. Some of us did. So thank
Yep.
God for that.
Yep. Amen. Woo, amen.
So, as an interviewer, if you're interview when you're interviewing somebody, what's one thing that gives you pause or kind of makes you think, this person wasn't like what I thought they would be.
Mhm.
Like what's one thing that gives you pause about somebody that you're interviewing? Have you had a situation like that?
Yes, actually, I have full transparency. And for all of the beautiful people who are interested in, what we do, Jasmine, I feel like it's good to share this just so you know when it happens along your journey, it's not you. You're not crazy. You're not unprofessional.
Mm,
Just some free game I want to give everybody who wants to get into this is you're going to have that one. And you know
mm,
what I mean. That one that just wants to do it their way. That
mhm,
one that, they think that an MC is actually an executive assistant, that one that just is just something. How about this? Sometimes I've had that one it just has negative energy, bad
yeah.
attitude. Um, and let me tell you how you always overcome that one is you never break your poker face. Ever. Never,
Mm,
never, never. So even when they're going up and it looks like they're all over the place and nothing is together and they're mean, you never break your poker face because at the end of the day, you are a conversationalist, right?
mm,
How would
mhm.
it look if you go bugging out, blowing up, call yourself going toe to toe with this person, and you are a what? Conversationalist. You are a
Yeah.
moderator, an interviewer. So you, in many cases, sometimes have to take the high road in no, because this brand is way too expensive, and not even talking money. It's just in how you represent yourself in this industry, way too expensive, not worth the cost. So there's going to be not too many times, but every once in a while you get that person like, oh my goodness, never break character. Keep it
Yeah.
professional always because those are actually the events where you're getting watched the most.
Yeah. And that's could go viral very easily for the wrong reasons.
That's another facts for real, Jasmine. And look, them cameras be out nowadays. So it's just better to be like, you know what? Let's push through this. Definitely honor your boundaries and let it be known, right? So
Mhm.
don't let nobody step over you or disrespect you because you're a professional and you're good at what you do. But there are times where it's like, no, I'm going to professionally power through this
Yeah,
because them phones be out.
they
So,
definitely do. On a different vein, who has been your favorite person to interview so far and why?
oh, this is so hard. Oh my goodness, Jasmine. Okay. I'm gonna say this. Favorite person to interview, if anybody knows, Dr. Eric E.T. Thomas, known as the hip hop preacher. He has like
I've
a
heard of
great,
him.
yes, he has an incredible brand. Jasmine, you may know him from because we work in sports. He's actually like the sports folks' number one go-to guy. Like he's the hype guy. He gives you strategy. He's inspiring. Like he's just anyway. So Dr. Eric Thomas is like one of my favorite people. I've grown up on his messages, listened to his motivational talks and speeches all the way through college. And shout out to the pandemic because as we were all inside, I had an opportunity to interview him. Get this, for my own talk show, my own podcast. It's still up there, by the way, one of my favorite episodes. And I couldn't believe it. And I'll never forget, he says, now, Ohavia, I only have about 15 minutes. I said, Dr. Thomas, I could do 5. Okay. Because I wasn't going to let this opportunity just pass me by. And, I'm so glad because what an incredible gift. He's a New York Times bestseller, doing incredible things with sports teams, has his own church now. He is all around the world, super global. So that was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do know him. He's a motivational speaker.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yes.
know who he is. I think I
Yeah.
follow him on social media.
Yeah.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it, Jasmine. I was like,
That's amazing.
so to this day, he's one of my favorites. And there's also a list, like been blessed to talk to Stacey Abrams. Also was blessed to work with Bobby Lights on, some Latinx History Month content. So God has really blessed me. And even currently, like with my own podcast in partnership with Everybody Studios, have brought in some powerhouses from around Charlotte, just some hidden gems. I mean, every day I'm meeting the dopest people, even with the Hornets, shout out to Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry, shout out to our guys on the team. Sometimes, I'm blessed to interview them or create content with them. So I'm in it every day. It's just always something and it's so dope. So I mean, they're all my favorite because what is this life? Like
it's like you have to pinch yourself sometimes. That sounds amazing. And I love that for you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you. I love it. And even talking to you, like, what is this life?
Oh.
But for real, Jasmine, like a little commercial break of giving you flowers. It's like, you are major. You understand? You're opulent, talented. You're also in this industry. And I'm so proud of you because, even being in it, matriculating through it, creating your own, girl, you're a powerhouse. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people watch, but, they're inspired by, you're somebody who's inspiring. And so is this my life? Like I'm on Jasmine's podcast, so I just want to give you flowers. You are incredible. This is incredible. And I'm just a fan. So honored.
Yes. Thank you so much. I received that and I'm appreciative. I try not to cry, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I'll be crying, so I'm like, no, Jasmine.
No, I think it's so important that we give people their flowers, though. I think when we can, as much as possible, because we live in a tough world, tough society. And if we watch the news every day, sometimes it feels like it's getting worse. But I think it's so important. So I really receive that with great thanks. And just on that note, a little Riz. A lot of the kids say Riz these days. For charisma. And a little,
little Riz.
A little Riz. Wait, where does that come from?
That I just saw it on TikTok, and I'm the oldest of 5. I got younger brothers. Riz is where you hit that.
Ooh, I love that. A little Riz.
Little charisma. Little.
That needs to be the new emoji. A little Riz. And for those who are listening on audio, you got to look at the video to.
Oh yes,
a little
please.
hand motion.
our Riz is going crazy. Y'all got to see it. It's so awesome. Yeah.
And you have so much Riz. I think a little Riz can go a long way. And I think that you've mastered the art of charisma.
Thank you.
Period. So, what?
I said, thank you, my sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. A lot of the women and men who listen to this podcast, one of the most, they're most afraid of auditions that require interviews, which most of them do.
Yeah.
Ooh. So what would you say to an interviewee, somebody that's, on the other side of an interview? What advice would you give them to stand out in an interview without, doing too much, I guess, to have that, like, that Riz, you know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, and this is my favorite because I remember when I was in the dance world, actually the interview was my favorite part because I think that it was an opportunity for them to just bask in my energy. And there are 3 main things that have worked from dance. And now it's working for me working in sports and television. And I want to share it with y'all. So the first thing is the power of color, meaning in your outfit, in your wardrobe, what is a way that you can express who you are, super cool, yet also, again, it goes back to listening, right? Reading the room. Hey, the power of color. Can you add a power color blazer? Can you add something that's printed? And even if it's not something that you're wearing or on you, maybe a pop of color in a memory, maybe, when you are introducing yourself, what's something that's fun and, that also would inspire them to remember you. I think, don't ever throw out those quirky things because that helps with memorability
Mm.
and differentiation, right? Because again, they're going through all of these dancers. What's going to make you different? So don't be afraid to add that pop of color, whether it's on your back or even when it pertains to, talking about yourself, adding something quirky in a memory. The second
Mm.
thing is listen, go all out. You didn't make it this far to like freeze up. You're sitting before this incredible opportunity. Maybe it's for a play, maybe it's for a troupe, maybe it's for the team. This is your moment, right? So go all out. Now, I know that there is a scale for going all out. Some people go not all out. Again, heavy on reading the room, right? Ways where you
Mhm.
can peak going all out, showing that authenticity, right? Letting that flair be known, not even in just your moves, but even in the way you express yourself. Make sure you're
Mhm.
sitting up tall, right? Make sure you're looking them in the eye. Remember, they have you across the table and even across the hardwood, the dance floor for a reason. So don't waste that
Mhm.
opportunity. And the last thing, too, Jasmine, is I think that we use the word authenticity so much, but what is authenticity? Authenticity is literally this idea that look, nobody is me. Period. Like there are all of these beautiful dancers behind me. I know I got my number, it's on my hip. That's fine. But nobody is number 81. You really gotta you gotta hype yourself up like that. Nobody is number 5, right? And again, it's not even framing it in your mind as a competition of you versus them, because humbly, I feel like that's what hinders confidence when you have to set up an invisible enemy or like a versus. Don't do that, guys. That's not even worth it because it's always about you. So I think
Mm.
that first thing, don't create an invisible competition. It's literally nobody is this number right here on my uniform. Nobody is like this girl or this guy. So I think that you should walk in that power. Again, from when they see you, you're on. From when you end the dance, you're on. Also, don't forget the power of the follow up. One of the many things I remember for
Mm.
troops and opportunities, auditions that I have successfully been able to be involved in, it was always a, hey, afterwards, I just want to say thank you so much. And then a week later, hitting them by email like that was so much fun. I learned from the atmosphere. All of those dancers inspired me. And I just want to say thanks. Let me tell y'all, it
Mm.
makes a difference. So, you think it's over after you take that number off, but it's not. It's actually just getting started because I've also seen doors come back around and they remember those little things, right? So don't forget the
Mhm.
follow up, even after you're popping up with color, authenticity, and being you. It makes a difference.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I'm gonna have to clip that and use that. Yes. Those three main things are, if you can't take anything else away from this interview, take that away. I love that. The follow-up, I totally agree. It's so important.
Right?
So,
Jasmine, how many times has the follow up helped? For real. Like,
oh, a
it
lot
helped.
of times. I probably wouldn't have made the Top Cats when I did if I hadn't have followed up that when I auditioned for the first time.
See?
I
And
yeah,
they remember that.
they remember that. Yes. I even went so far to meet with the coach even before auditions began. I think it was like in January and auditions weren't until like April. So
Yes,
I was like,
Jasmine.
yeah, I think it's super important to make your face, put your
Yes.
face into their memory and their brains
Yes.
in a good
Jasmine,
way.
I love that. Oh, yes. Like a cup of coffee or something like, hey, I just want to connect. Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
for sure. And the worst they can say is no, right?
That's
So
true.
might as well go out and try.
Mine as well. And in full transparency for those listening, I've never had someone say no. You'd be
Mm,
surprised. So I think that naturally you should try.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
that's so cool.
Thank you. So you said that, and I see this all over your platforms, dije lo que dije, which
Yeah,
means it is what it is. Or I said what I said. Yeah, I said
I
what I
said
said.
what I said. Yes.
So what do you mean when you say that you're fluent in the language of me, dije lo
Yes.
que dije? And
Yes.
as I was doing my research, I saw that came from your nana, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Okay.
yes,
My
go ahead.
grandpa, mi abuelo.
Your grandpa. Okay. Yeah. Tell us about that. What does that mean? to you?
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite question. And I might tear up because I love my grandpa so
Oh,
much.
it's
And
okay.
it's just like, I don't know why I always do this, but it might happen. But so shout out to my grandpa. His name is Prince Hansen. He is feisty. He's 92 years old. He doesn't take anything from nobody. Nobody finna take him for an idiot. He not for play that. Okay. So he's Jamaican. And he's also from Costa Rica. So what I love about my heritage is all of the trials that they've been through for me to even be this person. So my grandfather, he wanted to be a musician. He was born on Porte Limon in Costa Rica, which is a small island where there's Caribbeans, Haitians, black, black West Indians, all the
Yeah.
things. Just a beautiful array of just beautiful blackness. But also he comes from St. Catherine Parish, Jamaica, Spanish Town. So he's been a little bit of everywhere, but his goal always was, let me get to America. I want to be a musician.
Mm.
Well, while he was having his experience, my grandmother was picking cotton in South Carolina on her dad's farm and was going to school and was trying to help her sisters and. So they met actually in New York, had my mom, who's an incredible woman. And even growing up, she made it a mention to make sure we knew our heritage and know our culture. And I'm the oldest of five. So it's me, my sister, three brothers. And what I love is we are all making it our priority to intertwine our heritage and our culture and everything. So dije lo que
Mm.
dije actually come from my mama. So what happened was I would ask her why I got to do that. And she would go, because I said so. Dije lo que dije. Pero un papá, and I'd be like, I do not want papá. You know what? You got it. And so, it's so funny because we hear things growing up, and then when you get older, you say them. So what was happening was I was hitting my little dije lo que dije, and I would catch myself and be like, Mommy, is this 30? Is this 30? Sounded like your mama?
Oh my
And
gosh.
so
Yes, we turn to
it
our
became a
parents.
brand. Wait, do you do that too, Jasmine? You find you saying something, your mama's okay.
Yes.
I
Oh
just
my
have to
gosh.
know.
All the
I just have to
time.
know. I just want to
Sorry.
make sure I'm not by myself.
Oh, you're not. It happened. It's like something as soon as you turn 30, it's like, oh my gosh, I think I'm my mom. I think I'm my parents. Like, what is going on?
It's like, am I my mom, Jasmine? But so
Right.
I grew up saying, like, now here I am, 30 something, and sounding like my mama. But I was like, you know what? I don't want this to go to waste. So I made it, I incorporated it in my brand, which I love. So it's on mugs, it's stickers, it's opened incredible doors. I mean, also, even living in Charlotte, it's been incredible to get intertwined in the community, show that, we are a diverse people with different experiences and different shades. And so
Yeah.
that's also been a blessing to just be able to collaborate with incredible Latin community organizations. And I'm just very grateful. So, yes, it's been a beautiful journey. Yep. And my Spanish
I
is getting
love
better
it.
too. I've been hitting the Duolingo.
Oh, I would have known. I would have thought that you were fluent. The way you had the accent and all of
I
that.
was. I was.
Okay, okay.
I
I
just
get
had to
it.
brush up. Because, when you grow up and you speak in both, your brain is like,
Hmm. Yes. Well, I don't know, but I can imagine. I wish
yes,
I had a second language. So props to you for knowing, you
it's
know,
not too late.
I know. I tried Duolingo before and then I had to get rid of some apps on my phone and that was one of the
That's
things
real.
I had to go.
Jasmine, why are we like this? I did the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, well,
Exactly.
it's been about 4 months. Let me just free up this
Yeah,
storage.
exactly. It was a storage thing and I was like, okay. Maybe one day, it'll always be there. One day it'll come back around. Let me just make a trip to South America or, Costa Rica so I
I
can
know that's
immerse
right.
myself.
I know
That's the
that's right,
best
and
way to
I
learn
love it.
anyway, right?
Yeah, I love it. Yes, and we should. Yep.
Yes. And
Get
I
in.
love how, yeah, I love how you are able to put that into your brand and it's so authentically you and the story behind it is incredible. So I love that. You don't know this, but you're about to know. All
Tell me.
day today, I was walking around saying, Dije lo que dije. Like,
Oh
I think you have like a song. Don't you have a song? Is that you on the mic? Like is that your voice saying Dije lo que
yes, Jasmine.
dije? Is that you?
Jasmine, surprise, that is my voice, girl. And it's
I
funny
love
because
that.
it's been going like global, and people have been like, "That sound like you." Somebody sound like you, and I'm like,
Oh my
"It's
gosh, you need to make a song if it's not
okay."
already.
I received that. I'm gonna
It's
make it a song.
catchy.
For
Yes,
real?
it's very catchy. I was dancing to it. I was like, oh, dije lo que dije.
For
I love
real?
it.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead, put it on SoundCloud. Do what you
Here,
gotta
write
do.
that down next to hashtag pause with a per. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna do that
SoundCloud,
too.
dije lo que dije. Yep.
Yes, we need
Get
to
a
make it a
song.
full 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, that you inspire me because it's so funny. Like, and even how that came to be. Like, I had said something on a podcast, and a top-notch producer got a hold of it and was like, can I just borrow
Ooh.
this? I'm gonna make something for you. So he gave it back, Jasmine. I was like, yo, this is hot. And I was like, I can't share this with the internet. Then when I shared it, it went crazy.
What?
So I was like, you know what? I think we should make a song like a
You got something there. Something is definitely there for sure. And
receive. You
what
was
was that the producer sample? Like you got
oh
credit,
yes.
did you?
Oh yeah, shout out to
Okay.
Jameson Thea. He's incredible.
Okay.
It's his fault. He said, oh, I could make something with this. I said, how? He's a genius. Genius.
Oh, I love that. Wow. Yes. Something's definitely sitting there and needs to come out for sure.
Receive. Receive. Dije lo que dije.
Dije lo que dije. I love it. It's gonna be stuck in my
Yes.
head for the rest of the week. I promise
Yes.
you. Um, so like I mentioned before, I think what makes you so likable is your energy and your ability to be so vulnerable and show where you come from. And you constantly tell your story about working your way up and doing, you know, odd jobs or whatever you had to do in order to make a living
Yes.
towards working towards your dream in media.
Yes.
And like I said before, I've said it so many times, it's so inspiring, and I'm glad that you share that kind of content. But what qualities would you give someone to who wants to embrace their dreams like you did?
Yes. Jasmine, that's such a beautiful question. And thank you for your kind words, love. I think,
Mm.
just go for it. And I think the biggest thing is keep your mind on your business, keep your mind
Mhm.
on your calling, and you know your goal. And that's all that matters. One of the biggest hurdles I had to get over when I left television news and then became a barista was this fear of what people would think about me. And that's nobody's business, not even yours, right? Again, if you have a goal, and you have to take a pit stop or you have to transition, as long as you know what you're doing, you keep God first and you keep the mind on your business, you're going to thrive. So I think the secret sauce, the secret weapon is just be secure in you. And trust me, there's going to be a season it makes sense. And then you're going to be in a season of people coming up to you like, I always knew. And you're going to roll your eyes and you're going to remember what Ohavia said on Jasmine's podcast, right? But I think
Mhm.
the biggest thing is look, just keeping it focused. Don't do it for the people. I think you should never let a win get to your heart or a woe get to your mind. I never think that you should let the mountains and the peaks of everything get to your heart or the valleys get to your mind. Don't ever let any of it rattle your confidence and give it the best you got. So, yeah.
Wow. I love that. So inspiring. So inspiring.
My fiance bought me a water.
Oh,
I
okay.
know,
Yes.
right?
Yes, water. Yes, Beyonce. That's what a future husband's supposed to do, isn't
Man,
it right?
girl, this is like a two for you. And this is wonderful.
So
Like,
on
how
that
did he?
note, what'd you say?
I was like, how did he? It's fantastic. Lucky me.
He knew
Lucky
you were
me.
spitting some fire, so he was like, she gotta hydrate. She has to, I know she's already, she's dropping gems over there.
She got to hydrate. I love that. I gotta
She gotta
steal that.
hydrate.
She got to hydrate. She spitting fire. She's spitting
Because you
fire.
are.
For real. Okay.
Yes. So what's been keeping Ohavia up at night? What's been your biggest challenge lately, and how are you working through it?
Full transparency, future Ohavia. She
Mm,
keeps me up at night because I'm very big on learning, be where your feet are. But I also feel like when you work in certain industries, it sounds beautiful, but it's a practice. And so currently, one of the areas of opportunity in my life is being where my feet are, not thinking too far ahead. Jasmine, the other day, girl, how you wake up with attitude? I woke up with an attitude and I was like, why do you got attitude? It
uh,
literally, and I want you to hear me, it literally was because I was jumping too far ahead into things and worrying too far ahead. We're in 2025. Today
mm,
is today. Today is today's date. That's
mhm,
it. And so I feel like one of the things that is the thorn on my side, honestly, is being such a creative, but containing the creation, if that makes sense. Like
mhm.
realizing things take seed time and harvest, like it's biblical, and letting that be what it is, not stressing yourself out about it. So, girl, I'm gonna be honest, I'm grading myself a C plus. I'm not a false prophet. I'm a C plus. I'm still learning and definitely trying to learn how and strategies to remember that. But for now, being where my feet are, that's been
Yes. I
yes.
love that.
Yeah.
And what I know we just talked about being in the present and being where your feet are, but what does the future look like for Ohavia? What do you want to happen in, a few years from now or maybe next year? What do you think? What is the next big goal for you?
Yes. And see, I'm glad you asked this because there's a reason why some people be up. Like we don't want to be up, but so I have really big goals. One, I would love to either have my own journalism school, J School, at the
Ooh,
campus of my alma mater at UNC Charlotte, also known as Charlotte now. We got new rebranding. So I would love to have a journalism school on campus. I also want to go ahead and kickstart my journalism scholarship. That keeps me up at night, knowing, how many students I can impact. And I'm ready to start now, but there's a process to it. And it's like, oh, I'm ready to be a blessing, you know. Also too, I want to be a woman that buys the block. I want to be able to go back home where I grew up in Brooklyn and introduce, that demo of kids, black and brown kids, to the wonderful world of media.
Yeah.
I want to travel and introduce the next generation to the wonderful world of media. And it's funny because I feel so called to do this that sometimes the calling, though beautiful, feels like a beast because it's like, I want to get to it. And there's all these kids I want to meet and things I want to do. But you know what? God doesn't make mistakes and everything in time. But these are the things I look forward to. And, next
Yes.
5 years or so, but can't wait to be a brick and mortar owner, teaching my own curriculum, teaching, the tricks and trade to journalism with real world experiences in my own building to the next
Yeah.
generation. So, yes, that's my big goal.
Oh, love that for you. And I'm praying that all that comes true and it happens. I can definitely see that in your future for sure. I went to journalism school and so I can relate to that in some way because I went to journalism school at UNC Chapel Hill, but
Yeah,
I love, so I have my background actually is in journalism, I guess. So, but
that's cool, Jasmine. Yes.
yeah.
And you went to the best one. Shout out to Chapel Hill.
It
The
is a
best.
great journalism school. Yes. Shout out to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Um, I love that. And yeah, nothing but great things. It's gonna happen. Like you said, it's gonna happen in time. And
Yeah.
time these days, time's moving way faster than, it's supposed to. For some reason, I don't know if it's just we getting older, but the time
It's,
is going faster.
we are aging backwards though. We looking good. We looking younger, but I think it is because we're getting older now. It's like, woo, we're
Yeah,
already in February. Woo,
exactly. We're almost at the end of, well, we're in the middle of February, but it's
in
gonna
the
be like February
middle.
28th soon. Yeah, can we just pause time?
We
Yeah,
everybody breathe at the same time. Okay, everybody breathe, right?
right. If I had to choose a this or that, or like a would you rather go back in time or move forward in time, I'll probably go back in time,
I would
honestly.
go back in time to when I thought I
Yeah.
was so grown, Jasmine, and I wanted to like
Yeah.
eat whatever time I wanted. And girl, take me back. Take me back.
Exactly. Like from what I know now,
Yes,
yes, take me back.
take me back. And I'm not selfish, Jasmine. Like, would you go back to where's your back? Like, I would go back to college.
Oh, okay. That's what, college was fun. I don't know if I go back to college though. When I talk about this to other people, I ask like I think I've asked my boyfriend before like what if you could live another decade or like be a grown up in a different decade, what would it
Yes,
be? And I think I've said the 90s I would want to be a grown up.
that's a good one. I like that one. I would want to be a 90s grown up too. Yeah.
Yeah. But in my own life, where would I go back to? I would probably go back to my childhood when I was like 7 years old, where I had no care in the world, where I was just playing
Yes.
outside with my neighborhood friends and just racing
Yes.
down the street. I would go back.
Easy. When life was simple. Simple.
So simple and easy, no
Simple.
worries. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Ohavia. We're gonna get actually into some rapid fire questions before we wrap it up here.
Oh, I
So,
love these. Oh, I love these. Okay.
yes. So, I'll say a statement and then you just react to it and, whatever comes to your mind. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Mind your business.
Ooh,
I mean, but for real, really, yeah,
yeah,
mind your business.
good. What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Oh, listen to your heart. I know that's going to get
Ooh,
people in a tizzy, but
might have to explain that one.
okay, because sometimes we want what we want, but sometimes it's not the time for what you want. Sometimes you got to pick
Mm,
just the wisest choice, not what you want.
mm,
And so, and not even saying worst advice, but where we should be careful is listen to your heart. Well, sometimes my heart gonna want to say yes because I want a Lexus, a 2026 Lexus.
mm.
However, even though my heart says yes, what are some of the goals coming up where we can
Yeah.
allocate a lot of those funds here and make this dream come true? So yes, I think follow and go with and be inspired by, but don't listen straight up to.
Yeah. That I've never heard of that one, but that's a good
I
point. That's a good point because you want to listen to your heart for some things, of course, and I don't want to stereotype women, but as women, we like to do make decisions based off emotions, right?
Right.
But sometimes you got to use that logic in your mind, like, okay, does this take, let me take a step back.
Yes.
What would my logical self do?
You know what I'm saying? And again, be inspired by the emotion, be inspired by your heart and goal and desire for what you want. But again, let's be logical about this. And I think the cleanest neutral example is, if you want a new car or a new home or whatever it is, you want to climb up the corporate ladder. Okay, that's what your heart wants, but is this the best for you for real?
Yes.
So don't be led by it, be inspired by it. I think that's
Ooh,
better said. Yeah.
yes. Love that. Who is your favorite artist?
Kendrick. Now let me stop. Look, I was like, Kendrick. Uh,
Great. He's a great artist. He's having a moment right now, so.
Fantastic. You hear me? My favorite artist, because I listen to so much music. Let me see. Favorite artist that I listen to all the time, all the time, all the time. Oh, I would have to go. Right now, I am killing some Doechii. I got to be honest. I am killing some
Me
Doechii.
too. Me too.
She she is inspiring me so much from the gym to even getting things done. I'm going through her whole like new album. Doechii,
Oh,
thank you. You are everything, girl. Like Doechii has been on repeat for me as of late. Mhm.
me too. She's amazing. And just the fact that you can see where she came from. I think she posted videos about her getting fired from her job, and then
Yeah.
now she's a Grammy award-winning artist and has all these
Winning. Okay.
opportunities. She is amazing. And on top of that, her music is just bomb.
It
Like
is. It
she
is.
reminds me kind of like Missy Elliott a little bit and like
I
who else? Like Lauryn Hill a little bit and like some Nicki Minaj in there too.
Jasmine, you're on to
But she's
something.
also just her own person. I don't want to like put her on other people, but like
Yeah.
she's the next wave. She's
She's
incredible.
when I tell you she's fire, true lyricist. And I feel like, again, I like to listen to music and people that inspire life, right? So no
Right.
darkness, no weird energy. What I love about Doechii is she inspires any person listening to her music, like, let's come up. And
Yeah.
even how the difference make a difference. It makes you stick out. Like, I love me some Doechii. So you got it, girl. She got it.
Yes. Love that. What is your go-to meal?
I know this is my favorite food is hamburgers. That's why
Ooh.
I work out as much as I do.
Hey, you gotta live and you gotta, like what you said, righteousness and ratchetness. It's kind of like the same thing. You gotta
A
have
little
some
bit of
balance,
both.
right?
Okay. A
You
little
can
bit
have
of both.
both.
But yeah,
You gotta live
I
your
love
life, you know?
I love hamburgers. But when in doubt, and when in doubt, I also love a salad, but it's not a healthy salad. You see,
Yeah.
yeah,
You put all the stuff on there.
all the stuff. You hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. The salad about to get
Drenched
the
in
chicken.
dressing. Is that what you do?
I do heavy. I am a vinaigrette girly, but baby, I'm a vinaigrette. Okay. It's like, oh hey, yeah, well, is the salad swimming? Yeah, I'm just okay.
Somebody told me once they like their food to be wet. And
Yes.
that's what I think about when I think about people drenching their salads in dressing. It's like, okay, they have to have their food wet. It can't be dry, which
So
I get. But the way they said it was kind of interesting.
yeah, I was like even now I was like, I mean, love that too. Love that. But it's true, I am one of those people. Because just gotta
Yeah.
get it going and also toss my you just gotta
Yeah. I do love a good hamburger, by the way, too. So I totally get that.
okay,
What's
okay.
your favorite hamburger spot in Charlotte?
Oh, I actually just had it today, so I'm not lying to you. I had Harriet's hamburger,
I knew you
where
were
it's
gonna
like,
say
oh,
that.
love me some Harriet's. You hear me? I'll tear them up wherever they go.
I don't actually think I've had Harriet's. It's at Optimus Hall, right?
It is. Yep, right in the
Yeah.
front. It's a favorite. I just had it literally today. Let me tell you something. Harriet's can take all my money.
I
Oh, yes,
have to
indeed.
try that. Every time I pass by it, the line's long, but I'm never in the mood for a hamburger when I go there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
try
But let me tell you,
it.
you gotta get the Royale with crispy fries.
Ooh, wait a
And
minute.
yeah, you gotta
Royale.
get the aioli sauce.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
You see
That's
why I
a really
gotta work
cheat
out
meal.
every day? I know this is bad. I know this is bad.
It's all right. You gotta live your life, right? You gotta enjoy the finer things in life.
You understand? You understand?
In your opinion, who is the best performer of all time?
Best performer of all time?
Hmm.
Michael Jackson.
Mm. Yes.
And it's easy to say Beyonce because that, without saying, sure, but of all time, Michael
Of all
Jackson.
time. Michael Jackson. Yeah.
He's the blueprint for everyone. And so shout out
Yes.
to Michael Jackson and shout out to my fiance because his love for Michael Jackson allowed me to do research and really appreciate him in a whole different light. Girl,
Ooh,
love Michael Jackson. The Reeds love Michael Jackson. So
I love that.
fantastic. Yes.
Who is your hero?
My mom.
Oh,
Yeah, my mom, and I might tear up again. I love my girl so much. She worked hard, and even though my dad was in our lives, it was just in and out, not consistent at all. My girl, and my
Mhm.
mom had to really, bring up the rear. 5 kids in a time
Wow.
where 5 kids is unheard of. Now you say it's like, okay, we're talking 90s, early 2000s, and she always brought up the rear. We never were without. She worked hard, but we were never without. Again, in all things
Love
considered, she
that.
always made sure we were in an art, in an activity, had the best education. I don't know how she did it, but she's the truth. My mama's my like goals. You hear me? She's a beautiful
I
woman.
love that.
Love her. Yes.
Who do you look up to when you were, who did you look up to when you were growing up and you decided you wanted to be in media?
Brenda Blackman. She was a Jamaican woman on, I want to say, I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. So I'm going to just say a Brooklyn station,
Hmm.
a New York station because it's been a while, but her name was Brenda Blackman. Y'all look her up. I believe she is of Caribbean descent. She
Oh,
used
love
to
that.
just be so beautiful to me. She used to come on in the evenings, gorgeous hair, always tight skin, beautiful teeth. Just, I was like, yo, who is this woman? And I also loved how she used to talk and how she, positioned herself when she gave the news. I used to study this woman being so young. Shout out to Brenda Blackman. You're the reason I'm in media, girl. So yes.
Yes. Shout out
Yes.
to Brenda Blackman. It's so important to see like yourself on TV too, you know.
Yes. Oh, she was fire. Fire.
What is your most memorable career moment?
Most memorable career moment, honestly, getting hired to work for the Charlotte Hornets.
Yes, that's
And,
huge.
that's huge. And doing Jumpman Invitational and doing Ally Tipoff and
Yeah.
doing our commercials. It's like, God is so good. And again, you all, I always thought I would be a talk show host. And then this just rocked my world in the most positive way. But yeah, I would have to say working in sports, being a part of the NBA, that's just a whole, oof.
That's so amazing. It's like a dream come true.
Mm.
What's your favorite memory working with the Hornets?
I gotta say, interviewing Muggsy Bogues and Dell Curry, because, huh?
Yes, huge
Huh?
stars.
Are you kidding me? And they are so sweet and so inspiring. And they inspire me in so many ways, especially being a female in sports and entertainment. And when I tell you, always fun. Interviews are always fun. We always laugh.
Mhm.
And they're just the best of the best. So yeah, shout out to Muggsy and Dell. I love them so much. I do. Yes.
Awesome. What is one thing we may not know about Ohavia?
One thing. I like this one. One thing y'all may not know. I want to make it a real quirky one.
You can get as quirky as you want.
Right. One
No
thing
judgment
y'all,
here.
okay, praise God. One thing y'all may not know about me. Girl, I don't know if this is, TMI, but when I get nervous, I need people to understand, like, just clear the way. I have to use somebody's bathroom. I need to like just separate myself. And I just clear the way. When
I
I
love that you said that.
When I'm nervous, y'all, I really mean it. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. Okay. The only thing I'm not doing in that lineup is times up over plow, forget in my verses. Never that.
Mm,
However, all of the symptoms Eminem talked about, oh yes.
yes. And you would never know because you're so good.
Girl, it's that
But
preparation.
yeah,
But
everybody
I'm
has it.
talking like Jasmine, my hands are like this. And then once I do the welcome, it stops. Like I just got to get to the welcome, but I'm
Yeah.
always like,
You know what? That's a good point because whenever I'm nervous too, whenever I start it, whenever I'm there, I can also like breathe through it, whether if I'm talking or dancing. It's just I
yes.
gotta start to know that I actually made it to the start. I can
Yes,
get through
I
the
have to
rest.
start. Yes. And I love that you said it like that, Jasmine. I just got to make it to the start
Yeah.
because really that's what it is. Because once that music comes on, or, I get countdown in my IFB, oh, what's up? Like, it's
Yeah.
just like
No turning
until
back.
then,
I love that you say that though, because the digestive
mm,
digestive I don't want to say issues, but whatever goes on in
Whatever.
there, like
Yes.
that's how I know.
Yes.
Make
Yes.
sure the
And I'm
staff
trying
is
to
there
figure
money.
out a and I was trying to figure out a PC way to put it. I was like, you know what, just clear the way is like the clearest way to say it. But yes,
Yeah,
the
it's
how
real.
the nervousness travels to just all parts of the body. Yeah.
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 I'm like, why can't it be like, why can't it make the opposite reaction?
You know
Nervousness.
what I'm saying? Can I sweat? Can I? Well, I wouldn't want to sweat either. But like, could I have
Right.
something different? Maybe the shakes, but I wouldn't want people seeing that either. I
Yeah.
don't
Like, can
know.
I just
But
glow a little bit
can
more?
I,
Like, just kind of give a little bit off a little more glow.
just
People
a
feel
little
nervous.
glow, a
Yeah.
little some golden hues,
Right.
Oh,
I know. I love that that's so real though. I love
yeah.
that you're real about that. Last one. What is your advice for someone who wants to put themselves out there but is afraid of what people might think or say?
I feel like you would be sadder, madder, and regret more if you don't. Because
Mm,
literally you never tried and you wouldn't know what people will say because you never put yourself out to be received. I think that don't lead with what people think because if so, you'll always go with the wind. Be rooted, know that God did not make mistakes in your design and what you're called to present and do, and keep your mind on that business. And the right people, the right demo, the right money, the right opportunities and brands will be attracted to that realness. And you'll never have to worry about any of the things again. And I'm a living witness. So don't do it for the people. People never notice. Got to do it for yourself. You the coldest. That's a Drake bar, but
woo, woo. I was
we
gonna say, I
love
think I've heard
everybody.
that one before in a song.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was Drake. He was like, you don't do it for the men. Men never notice. You just do it for yourself. He said a curse, coldest. But I
Yes.
actually love that bar, and I just flipped it in business and in life. Yeah, don't do it for the
Yeah.
people. People never notice. Do it for yourself. You the coldest.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Such a great way to end this interview. That is amazing, Ohavia. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
on to the
Jasmine.
Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. This has been amazing. This has been the highlight of my day. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a rough day, but
Yeah.
this has been definitely the highlight of my day. And I want to thank you so much for bringing your energy, your wisdom, your advice, and just your positivity to the show. So
Thank you so much, my girl. And listen, I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored to know you. And here's to a 2020 Thrive. Nothing can stop you, Jasmine. Like you're really her. And that's just what it is. That's the insurance plan, and you're covered. So I'm proud of you, my love. And thank you for this opportunity.
thank you so much.
Love you, my girl.
Love you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. Taking the time to listen while you're busy with all of life's responsibilities means the world to me. If you enjoyed this episode, here are a few ways you can support ICP. Number 1, hit the subscribe button so you always get newly released episodes and never miss them. Number 2, take a screenshot of the episode you listened to and tag at the professional cheerleader on Instagram. We love to repost your tags and shout you out in our stories. Number 3, write a review. This is the best way to show your support for the podcast and helps us bring on even better guests, interviews, and topics. I hope you have a wonderful day, morning, or night, wherever you may be, and are continuing to work towards your goals of becoming a professional cheerleader, dancer, or just someone who loves to move. I'll see you later on another episode of the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. Toodles for now.